Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard the Six Flags Over Georgia Railroad. They call me the Texas, and I'm the train engine that'll be taking you on a trip around this beautiful park today. Now, I'd first off like to say that I appreciate everybody coming on board. If it weren't for you, I'd surely be taking up space out in that old scrapyard with some of my family members that have come and gone over the years. Yep, I've been touring folks like you around this park since it opened way back in 1967. And y'all have always been good to me. So they've kept me around for over 50 years now, and I sure do thank you for that. You might have heard me mention my family. I'll have plenty more to say about them during this trip, but before we get moving towards Raven Gap, there's some rules I have to take care of, so listen real careful. There's no eating, drinking, or smoking while you're on this train. Also, for your safety, remain seated. Always keep your hands and feet inside these here train cars, and don't be trying to get up and get off of this train until I say it's safe. Now, if everybody's seated and ready, we'll get moving here just as soon as I clear my throat. All right, that's better. Now, as we pull out of the Marthasville station, turn and wave goodbye to your station master and all the nice folks who were so helpful in getting you safely on the train today. As a matter of fact, you'll see folks waving at you this whole trip, so be polite and wave back. We are in the South, after all. Shoot, we can practice right now as we come up to the spot where over 800 smiling members of our family enter the park to make sure you have a good day and a fun time here at Six Flags. Let's just take a second to say hey to one another. Now, you keep hearing me mention family, because that's what we are. And there ain't many old relics left that have been here with me since opening day back in 1967. But down on the left, we're coming up on one that has. While many others have come and gone, the Dahlonega Mine Train has been here since the beginning. Named after the Dahlonega, Georgia Gold Rush of 1828, which just happened to be the very first gold rush in these here United States. The mine train was the park's biggest roller coaster until the addition of the Great American Scream Machine way back in 1973, when the Cotton States Exposition was added to the park. Here on the right, where the Dodge City bumper cars lived for 43 years, you will now see Justice League Battle for Metropolis. And up in the skies of Metropolis, you can see Superman Ultimate Flight shooting up to 115 feet at speeds of over 60 miles per hour, which is way faster than this old locomotive can get up to these days. I'll just stick to my cruising speed of 10 miles per hour. In 2017, Metropolis replaced the Cotton States section, which was once home to favorites like Momo the Monster and Viper. Now, we all have those family members that refuse to age gracefully. And in 2016, one of our own got some work done. Just here on the right where my old friend Z-Force used to live is what used to be called Ninja. After a facelift and name change, we now call her Blue Hawk. But she still takes you upside down 5 times. In comparison, this here train you're on right now takes you upside down 0 times. To your right, standing 200 feet in the air, is Skyscreamer. In 2013, this tall tower was called in to relieve the P, which got moved in from USA section back in 1985 to replace the Drunken Barrels when they got too inebriated to continue on. Skyscreamer lives in the Lickskillet section, which became an addition of our family back in 1968. In 2019, the former home of Whistle Stop Park at Deja Vu was transformed into the Scream Punk District. Now, I'm old and don't know what Scream Punk means, but I do know that when you add a 15-story pendulum at 70 miles per hour, it becomes pandemonium. Here to the right, you're going to see folks are coming and going to and from Thunder River. Them folks always look a lot more soggy when they're a-going. Back when I began driving guests around these tracks, that ride was called Jean Ribault's Adventure, and you actually got in over to the left, where you now see the Coca-Cola hydration station. But back in 1982, the ride was devamped, and Thunder River has been soaking y'all ever since. Well, since I'm old, it's time for me to take a rest for a minute, so I'm gonna pull here into our Raymond Gap train station. Feel free to sit and relax with me while we meet new friends who want to get off of their feet. Or you can exit here and take a ride on Goliath and Daredevil Dive. Please stay seated until we come to a complete stop. Once I blow the safety whistle, you are free to get up and off this train. Thank you for riding the Six Flags Railroad. I hope to see you again real soon. Well, howdy, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard the Six Flags Over Georgia Railroad. They call me the Texas, and I'm the train engine whose job it's been for over 50 years to show you fine people all the sights of Six Flags Over Georgia. Today I'm going to give you a little bit of Six Flags history as you look at some of the rides and attractions in our beautiful park. But first, I want to say thank you for hopping on and making me part of your visit to Six Flags. Now, before we start our trip over to the Marthasville train station, there's some very important rules I have to tell you. So listen carefully. There's no eating, drinking, or smoking while you're on this train. Also, for your safety, remain seated. And always keep your hands and feet inside these here train cars. Now we'll get moving here just as soon as I make sure the tracks are clear up ahead with a nice little scream. All right. They have been warned. Let's get it going. Now just for a second, imagine we're back in 1980. Your hair is feathered and your Jordache jeans are skin tight. Six Flags Over Georgia has been open just over a decade, and we have already seen expansion to add Lick Skillet and Cotton States. But y'all guests were still begging for more, so that season came the addition of Jolly Rogers Island and its signature ride, the Flying Dutchman. That pirate theme stuck around until 1997, when those dastardly swashbucklers were blasted out of the sea by a caped crusader with no patience for those who commit crime. So now, over to your right, you'll see Gotham City, home of the Joker Chaos Coaster, Catwoman Whip, and of course, Batman the Ride. The list of those that we've lost from the USA section reads like a who's who of guest favorites. The Chevy Show, the Drive-In Theater, Shake, Rattle, and Roll, and Freefall. Sometimes you've got to lose to gain, and we've gained a lot. And I'm not talking about all the weight I gained when they switched me to a diesel engine back in 2005. But anyway, to the left, standing high in the air with 3 inversions, is Daredevil Di. She joined us back in 2011, daring guests to take that 95-foot drop. When the park opened in 1967, some people say the most popular ride had to be the Log Jamboree. I would say the most popular ride had to be the Six Flags Railroad, but I digress. The log ride was so popular that in 1968, an additional flume had to be added to meet the demand of guests who wanted to ride. You can see that second flume is still right there for you to enjoy today. The original flume was removed in 1990 to make room for Raging Rivers until 1998, when that flume became a flame called Georgia Scorcher. Now we're coming up under a coaster so huge, such a giant, that 2 rides had to be closed to make room for it. Back in 2005, we lost 2 longtime favorites, the Lupin Starship and the Great Gasp. But in return, receive what is arguably the most popular ride at Six Flags over Georgia today, More Life. There were many who grumbled when the Great Gasp was torn down, as its imposing tower in the sky excitedly marked guests' impending arrival to Six Flags. But those grumblings quickly turned to shrieks of excitement in the spring of 2006, when the first trips on Goliath were taken. If you keep looking to your right and down through the trees, eventually you'll see the Six Flags Promenade, where you start and end your day with us. The front gate area was remodeled in 1998 to include shops and a brand new fountain. Promenade saw a more recent change when we lost Six Flags Marketplace to Coaster Candy in the Great Sugar Rush of 2017. Down past the promenade is the coastal section. From 1967 to 2017, this area was called the British section and was home to old favorites like the Highland Swings, Condy's Tavern, and Piccadilly Suites. Now here we are back at the Marthasville train station, a name rich in Georgia history. Once called Terminus because it marked the end of the Western and Atlantic train line, the name was changed to Marthasville in 1842, and then finally, in 1845, became known as the great city of Atlanta. So, if this is the end of the line for you, gather your belongings, wait for the train to come to a complete stop, then listen for my whistle to signal the all clear. Then you will be free to exit the train. Otherwise, feel free to stay on, and after I take a quick rest, we'll be heading back over to the Raymond Cap train station.